פסוק ד' רב.
Yes, בעזרת Hashem, we continue פרק י"ז, פסוק ד'. Pasuk says like this. Shlomo HaMelech says, Mera מקשיב על שפת אבן. Mera is somebody that does bad, yes? And that his behavior is always to do bad. Mean. מקשיב על שפת אבן. He listens, yes, to the talk, to the לשון הרע. What is שפת אבן? It's לשון הרע ודברי שקר, lies and לשון הרע. He listens to it. When מקשיב, he pays attention to it, and he takes it in. שקר, מזין על לשון הבואות. A liar, מזין is overhears, yes, מזין, pays attention to לשון הבואות. לשון הבואות, Rashi says, is לשון, לשון הבואות is destructive speech. So the Gaon says the following. We know there are two sources of bad that we core essence of bad that we refer to, which is the ra and the mirma. The bad in its essence, and mirma is the manipulator, yes, that has. So the ra, we've spoken about it many times. He's fundamentally bad, and he does bad, and he doesn't care that everybody knows that he does bad. The mirma, yes, pretends to be good, but he has very bad intention. Like that's the difference between the two. So says the Gaon like this. Shlomo HaMelech says, Mera makshiva sefat aven, right? The one that is bad and does bad and doesn't care to do bad and to have people know that he does bad. Not only that he does bad, but also he pays attention, he listens to, yes, all the divrei sheker, all the lies, and all the lashon hara. And all this, he listens so that he can do bad even more. He can use that negative information to do bad. And to who does he listen that to? He listens that, again, al sfat aven. He pays attention to the one that speaks lashon hara. And who's the one that speaks the lashon hara? The merame, the mirma. He's the one that pretends to be good, but bemet is bad. And the merma himself, okay, which is the shakran, which is the word sheker, referring to the sheker here. Mezin al leshon havuot. Him, he overhears, yes, he's like nosy like this, to pay attention and hear what people have to say. But specifically, yes, he likes to pick up on the things that are said that are not good, that are destructive, that have a potential to hurt. And from who does he get that from? That he gets from the Rasha, from the Ra. So each one learns from the other, guys. The Ra, the Mera, right, gets the information of the Lashon Hara and the Sheker from the Mirma, from the Merame. And the Merame, yes, learns how to be bad and how to pick up information from the Rasha. The only difference there is that the Mera Makshiv, yeah, it falls on its own. Forget. The Mera Makshiv, yes, the Ra has no problem listening and paying attention and showing that he's interested and curious. Where the Mirma, yes, he overlooks how the Rasha operates and what the Rasha says, but pretending that he doesn't see. And when he wants to get some more information or more clarity on the subject from the Ra, he's going to go in a very discreet way. Basically, what the Gaon is coming to tell us here is that you have two types of bad, yes, and they feed each other. The Ra lives good with his behavior, so you can identify that behavior quite easily, and it's very dangerous because he's Ra and he's a Rasha, and, yes, and all he wants is more information on that can help him do bad. And the Merameh is the one that is vicious and pretends to be good, but he learns from the Rasha on how to see what he does and implement in this behavior, yes, like his viciousness to it by kiviyachol pretending that he's not so bad. Yeah, so they feed each other. Good. לועג לרש חרף עושהו. Whoever mocks the rash, the poor, he's provoking, yes, עושהו, his creator, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sameach le'ed, and whoever is happy to see someone fail, lo yinakeh, will not go unpunished. So, well, first, the Gaon says the following. What is the difference between Ani and Rash? With Ani, Evion, and Rash. Three terminologies for the poor. Ani is somebody that doesn't have. The Ani is the poor right now. The Evion is the one that has been poor for a long time, and he's so done with being poor that he doesn't mind shaming himself just to make money, just to find money. That's the Evion. So the difference between the Ani and the Evion is that the Ani has still busha, but he's poor. Yeah? The Evion has no more busha. The Rash is someone that has been born poor and will be poor all his life. His mazal is that he has to be poor all his life. That's his tikkun.
What is that one called?
Rash. Good. So says the Gaon like this: Loeg larash. Somebody that mocks the poor, that has been poor all his life. Then essentially, who is he mocking? He's mocking the Akadosh Baruch Hu that made him like this. So he's basically, yes, laughing at the creation of Akadosh Baruch Hu.
How are we to know who's a Rash and who's an
That's
Evion?
exactly no. Why? Well, you know what I mean. Most, if you first of all, you shouldn't be lo'eg anyways. Yes, that's melachatchila. But even if you usually people that are around your surrounding, you know that this person misken all his life, he never had bracha. All his life he's been suffering. All his life he cannot make money. All his life. And then you have some people that lo alenu they had and they lost. And it's this happens also. But Shlomo Melech, what is the ta'ana of Shlomo Melech? What is Shlomo Melech?
Mocking anybody, essentially mocking Hashem.
No,
Being loeg anybody, essentially.
no, no.
Why?
Because here
Then
the message here is very specific. I'll tell you how this applies. He's saying like when somebody comes with an inferiority, whatever that inferiority is, but he's born like this. That's his challenge. And you mock him, you make fun of that. That's when you make fun of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If somebody is born with lo alinu, some type of challenge, physical challenge, mental challenge, behavioral challenge, mazal challenge, you're not allowed to look at this challenge as a weakness, as an inferiority, because by addressing this as an inferiority that makes you laugh, yes, so you're basically laughing at HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to look at this as an opportunity to help in any way you can. And by doing that, you're now shutaf with HaKadosh Baruch Hu to serve the purpose of that person, to help enhance the purpose of that person. So the Rash is lav davka the poor that was born poor. Like I said, it could be anybody that's born with a challenge.
Rabbi, could that mean even a character trait, or it has to be a formation of a physical trait? Oh, he's in the
What?
and he came in strong. He came in.
What? No.
Is this Rabbi? Is this only the way they look, or could it also be a character trait that you
No,
don't
it could be a
like?
character. No. But I mean, a character. If it's a midah, every midah can be worked
So
on.
so if you can't stand, if someone doesn't like somebody, you can't stand them, the way they do business, the way they talk, the way that
That depends. If it's midot, that's all what we're talking
okay,
about.
okay.
That's
So
not what we're talking about.
so it's chas v'shalom something
It's an
else.
inferiority, not a trait, not a bad habit. An inferiority. Somebody that's born a certain way. He's born lo alenu poor. He's born misken with an abnormality physically. A challenge is emotionally. You
Do
understand?
you have to? Can you just decide to stay away, or I mean,
No,
not
we're
not.
not. We're talking about loeg. Loeg is proactive. Loeg is proactive. Loeg is making fun of, laughing at, mocking. That's a proactive. It's not that you stay away. You stay away. You have to stay away. Nobody's forcing you to be engaged with everybody. That's loeg larash. So it's a direct, yes, affront to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sameach le'ed, and whoever gets rejoice from seeing somebody fail, yes, somebody that was somewhat successful and had a setback in his life, such a person lo yenakeh. What does it mean, lo yenakeh? Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will punish him. When if and that is where it becomes very dangerous. Both are dangerous. Loeg larash, somebody that make ticks, or somebody that's you can understand that. Maybe when a person is a child, children can be very cruel and mean, and laugh at someone for because they don't have money, or because their shoes, they cannot afford the new shoes, or because they dig with their eyes, or because they stutter, or because they have an abnormality. This is the cruelty of immaturity. But when a person grows, he understands that. So there's nothing funny with that. Yes. Now, some people are still immature and are still ignorant and still behave and react and have and make fun. This is loeg. This is loeg, and that's a straight attack to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. But that you have to be stupid. You understand? You have to be immature. However, the second part of the pasuk, Ken sameach le'ed lo yinake, somebody that rejoices from seeing somebody fall and fail, that's already very fine, because a lot of people, and and I would say most people are not so happy to see people succeed. So when they hear that somebody lost a deal, somebody lo alenu has a problem, in their heart it awakes like, he deserves it, or and suddenly, and he has an emotion, a moment of simcha in his heart. That moment of simcha awakes din, and awakes midat adin shebadinim. Ze lo yinake. Ze lo yinake. Meaning he will not forgive. Yes. Now, obviously, if it's a machshava of a second, then they already din of a second. But if it's somebody that will take this to the next level, and we speak about, oh, did you hear this guy? Oh, he's ala panim. Yes, this happens a lot in business. This happens a lot in business. Somebody is very successful, whether it's in real estate, in jewelry, it doesn't matter what business, yes, in garment. And then the guy who has a setback, and he's in foreclosure, or he has a problem, and you start talking about, don't tell me that you talk about it because you're sad. People talk about it because there's some type of rejoicing in their heart. There's some type of level of satisfaction that they find, that they hear somebody failing. It's just the nature of the beast. So comes Shlomo HaMelech and says, be very careful from that. Because to that, there is gezerat din. To that, there's judgment. Lo yenakeh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not forgive. This does not go unpunished. Now, asks, good, the pshat is pashut, yes, it's good. Now, says Shlomo HaMelech, he says, why does the Sameach Le'ed, why isn't he an affront to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Okay, why does this person get a setback? Why does the lose? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu was gozer that he should lose, right? So what's the difference if it's the gzera that of a person that was born like this, or a setback in life? At the end, is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu who's gozer to him and to him. So him also should be cheref osehu. Yes, that's the question of the Gaon. So the Gaon answers and says the difference between the two. One comes to this world with this challenge, and he has a purpose with that challenge. And that challenge serves the creation. That person that is born with that challenge is part of the tikkun of all Am Israel with that specific challenge. That's the Rash. However, the Ed, do you know his setback is a setback because of his actions, because of his avonot, lo alenu. Therefore, he had the setback. Therefore, you cannot say Heref Osehu. It's an affront to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. No, it's not an affront. It's an affront. He's making fun of the person because of the reaction of his actions. But the fact that you can rejoice, when somebody sins or somebody fails because he sinned, to that there's lo yenake. To that there's punishment. How can you be happy to see somebody pay for his sin? You should be metza'ar that that he has a setback because of his sins. You should be metza'ar that he sinned. You should be sad that this person failed in his actions, and because of that he gets punished. Not happy. That's the difference between the two. However, now the question is, okay, it's an affront to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yes, the lo'eg larash. But does the lo'eg larash also lo yenakeh or not? So says the Gaon for sure. That's kal vachomer. Vadai. Yes, if you make fun of somebody's action, behavior, yes, and his matzav, you get there's midat adin. For sure that if you do the same thing, I speak too loud. So for sure that if I do the same thing, if somebody chas v'chalila, lo alenu, if somebody is lo'eg larash, that lo yenakeh. And he says the Gaon, this is an abomination in the front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. These behaviors, both of behaviors, yes, are abomination. מעוות לא יוכל לתיקון. לא יוכל, ממש. There's no tikkun to that action. You cannot fix that action. That moment, you can fix yourself moving forward. But that action you cannot fix. Now, it says the Gaon, this concept also applies to Limud Torah. Same thing. Who is the Rash? Who is considered the Rash? So somebody that's born Ama Aretz. He's born without Torah, nothing. He's born like a goy. Like grow up, zero Torah, no mitzvot, no kasher, no Shabbat. And or somebody that's born and he doesn't have sechel. He's born lo alenu. He's born without sechel. He's dumb. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. If somebody makes fun of such a person, listen to what the Gaon says. That means that if there is someone that was born, yes, from in a family that is completely not religious, and he grew up non-religious, and you make fun of his behavior because he doesn't behave the right way, can הבן אדם חרף עושהו. It's an affront to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You cannot mock even a Hiloni, like they call it. I don't like to use this term, but even a non-religious that is non-religious because he was born like this all his life and he doesn't know better. אתה שומע? That's how far the Gaon goes in the Hidush of Shlomo HaMelech. And and what is the Sameach Le'ed, Lo Yinakeh? That's also the viciousness of men. He says that's when you see a Talmid Chacham or a Ben Torah, shenichshal be'alacha. He made a mistake, he sinned, whatever, for whatever reason, he had a setback. Yes, he did the Avera. Or nichshal be'talmudo. He gave you, he teaches you something and he made a mistake. And you laugh at it. Or you're not your mechila, you don't laugh at it. You're sameach. You see? He's not that big of a chacham, this guy. You know? Look, you see, you think he knows, look, he doesn't know. He made a mistake. That emotion of rejoicement, yes, lo inake. Lo inake. Comes Shlomo HaMelech to tell us that we need to work on two core essence instincts and behavior, which is mockery, yes, and to be happy when we see the failure of someone else. These are instinctive reactions that are coming because of the vulnerability of man. Because man is vulnerable and because man is self-conscious, in order to protect himself and make himself feel good, he will or mock the weak or rejoice from seeing the failure of somebody that was successful in his eyes. That means that when he saw him successful, he wasn't happy that he was successful, right? That's why he's happy that when he's not, when he fails. Because when he was successful, he was jealous. He wasn't happy to see the greatness in that person. Right? So to fight both, the tikkun of both is what? To see the success of the other as your own, no matter who that person is, and to see in vulnerabilities and to see inferiorities as part of your own tikkun. Because if that Akadosh Baruch Hu brought that tikkun to the world, to that person, and we are revim zelazeh, and we are one, it is my responsibility. It is part of my tikkun. That changes completely the outcome, yes, and the outlook when you see somebody lo alenu with an issue from when he's born, a challenge, or when you see somebody being successful before you see him fail. Because if you're happy when he's successful, you'll be sad to see him fail. And you know what? You might even go and tell him, look, you're doing something wrong. Baruch Hashem, you're successful. Look how great you are. Why you do averot? It's not good. You're not going to let him fail. You're not going to let him drown. But definitely, if you see him drown, you're not going to be happy. That's the tikkun, yes, to that instinctive chet that resides amongst every individual. Every individual has that. This happens why? Between Rabbanim also. Between Rabbanim also, you see a Rav, suddenly there's a problem with the Rav, suddenly, you see this Rav, you see this Rav. זה בדיוק הבעיה פה, זה שמח לאיד. זה שמח לאיד. Nobody is shielded and protected from that. It's an avodah that needs to be done day after day after day after day. Because there is no tikkun to that specific action. You can be metaken yourself, yes. But to that tikkun, that action, there's no tikkun. That means that the person just planted midat hadin in front of him. And then people ask themselves, oh, why is that happening? Well, the problem is that we don't have a cheshbon nefesh to the emotion, yes? אבל Hashem יראה את הלבב. Because Baruch sees the heart, sees the rejoicing. He knows. He knows. Tremendous, tremendous lesson. This is Musar, זה Musar in the core of Musar. אימא של המוסר זה. Pasuk, any question on that Pasuk? טוב. Pasuk Vav. עטרת זקנים, the crown of the elders, bene banim, are the children, the grandchildren, meaning the crown of a grandfather and a grandmother are their grandchildren. V'tiferet banim, and the glory of the children, avotam, are the parents. This is such a beautiful, beautiful pasuk that Shlomo HaMelech teaches us. Why are the grandchildren, says the Gaon, considered a crown to the grandfather? And here, in his answer, you see the aspiration of Shlomo HaMelech and what Shlomo HaMelech was looking for and what he was valuing, yes, as a potential grandfather. He says, when you have a zaken, a grandfather, he has children and he has grandchildren. HaKadosh Baruch Hu blesses him with many grandchildren. Now, when he has a lot of grandchildren and the grandchildren are united around him, when the grandchildren are one around his table, the fact that they surround him, that unity, that harmony, that gathering of all the grandchildren is a crown. Yes, it looks like a crown that he carries on his head. So the crown of the grandfather is to see the grandchildren around him happy and and united. That's ateret zekenim, bene banim, and the tiferet banim, and the glory of the kids are their parents. Why? Because the nature of a child is to look at his father, at his parents, as the best. You know, when you hear the bar mitzvah speech, usually they say, thank you to my father, and thank you to my mother. I couldn't ask for any better parents. You're the best parents in the world. Be'emet, they believe that. Ze emet, unless it's the parents that write it, but they write the speech. But that's the emet. But the child, yes, has one hero. It's his father and it's his mother. As the child grows and becomes mature and more of an adult, he starts picking up on the faults of the father, and slowly loses a little bit of that awe that he has for his father. But always until the age of the adult age, yes, a child will look at his father as like a Superman. He's like his role model. And that's what Shlomo HaMelech says. Tiferet, ken, banim, ken, tiferet banim avotam. Now, why don't we say that the father is the crown to his of the son? Says Shlomo HaMelech, pashut meod, because the father you only have one. So you don't have that unity, you don't have that harmony of many individuals around you for it to be considered a crown. So it's not a crown, but it's tiferet, it's glory, it's my pride. This is my father. Yes. So what do you see? What do you see in this hidush from Shlomo HaMelech? Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell us two things: that the beauty of a family is its unity and its harmony, and the fact that they gather together around the grandfather. This is what the grandfather should aspire for, to have a lot of children and grandchildren united around him. Because this is his crown. This is his satisfaction. This is his pleasure in this world. This is what Shlomo HaMelech viewed as a king. Who is a king? What's a king? A king is someone that wears a crown. So he's a king in his own kingdom. It's a grandfather that has around him his family. That's a real king. And that's the beracha that David HaMelech gave Shlomo. Le'olam yehu banecha saviv le'shulchancha. That's the last beracha that David gave on his deathbed to Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech comes and says, you know who's the real king? The one that has his children and grandchildren around him. Number one. And number two, Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell us, be careful, fathers. Be careful, because you are the role model of your children. You are the glory of your children. So be careful not to disappoint them. Don't sway their path. Don't taint their purity. Because the nature of a child is to look as the father, as glory, as his role model. So everything you do, he'll pick up. Another night pirush that the Gaon brings in Aderet Eliyahu in Yeshaya. He says the following. He says that a different pirush, which is also very, very nice, very practical. He says, you know why Ateret Zekenim Bene Banim? What is Atara? Atara is a crown. Crown is the king. King is power. Power is the ruler. Ruler is the one that protects, right? Who protects his kingdom? The king. Who protects the grandfathers? The grandchildren. Because the grandfather becomes frail, he becomes aged. Yes. So the grandchild will make sure that that he's safe, that he has what he needs. Let me take you here. Or if somebody talks back to my grandfather, Mapitom, I'm the lion. I'll come and protect. I'll jump in right away. So the atara is referring to the protection. Yes. Who is the protection of the grandfather? Is the grandchildren. But that you cannot say on the father, because it's the father who protects the son. So the father cannot be the atara to the son, because the father, his role is to protect the son. However, the son is the father is the glory of the son. Why? Like we said, because when a son speaks about his father, he will always speak highly. He will always speak, in high regards. A father will never, a son, unless the father is terrible, or the son, was that? Yeah, the father will never expose his father. Will always try to protect him. In a sense, not Khalila protect from a source of protection, but in terms of the way he presents it. Yes, he will make him shine. So that's why, okay, he's the tiferet, okay, the tiferet banim avotam. The parents are the tiferet of the son, of the children. Tov, Ezrat Hashem. So we just learned finished pasuk vav, Perek Yuzayin, pasuk vav. Any question on that pasuk? All good? Okay.
Thank you.
Be'ava, be'ava.